didn't keep everybody together with a thin majority. We'll see. We don't know. Now, the other thing is, Trump is supposed to announce today. What? Well, I guess we'll see. The speculation is he is announcing that he's going to run for president again. Numerous polls have been taken over the last couple of days. More came out yesterday, not looking favorable towards Trump. Every single poll that's come out for every single state shows there's been a wide swing of Republican voters and their feelings towards Trump. You had the Club for Growth poll that was taken in Iowa. DeSantis 48, Trump 37. This is 2024 presidential GOP primary. DeSantis 48, Trump 37. New Hampshire, DeSantis 52, Trump 37. Florida, DeSantis 56, Trump 30. DeSantis led in Florida before the election.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm looking at the movement here. How much they went up or down. So Florida, DeSantis was leading. All the other ones, DeSantis was not. Georgia, 55-35 for DeSantis. And in Texas, I don't know if we brought you that one yesterday from Texas. Here's the Texas poll on October 23rd. It was Trump 46, DeSantis 49 in the state of Texas. All right?
Okay.
Yesterday, DeSantis 43, Trump 32. Huge movement. All, by the way, not registered Republican voters, likely voters, which is what they should do to begin with. We've made our comments on this. I want to just give you just a couple of paragraphs. This came from townhall.com, Kurt Schlichter. If you ever want to know somebody who was absolutely for Trump, absolutely for Trump,
a bulldog,
lawyered. It's important to know, understand where his background is. Lawyered after the 2020, as he stated, because of the rigging.
Right.
He talks about the fact that Trump is not the GOP's only problem. Well, duh. By the way, I'm not insulting them by saying duh. It's just that is, for us, it's a duh, because we've been following it, complaining about the Republicans. Oh, I don't know, 33 years ago. But for a length of time, of course he's not the only challenge that the Republicans have, but understanding where the background comes, because I think the one thing that he wants out there, Kurt does, is the fact that I'm not a never Trumper. Here's what I've done, but it's time for him to go. And he talks about things that, in other parts of the article, like we did. There has never been a president that in our time and I don't know. I don't know if there was a time before where presidents were treated as he was when he first got into office. I don't know in American history where the opposition party actually created an enterprise to make up lies, go to law enforcement, in essence, making up those lies and financing those lies. And that's what the Hillary campaign and the DNC did, to say that a presidential candidate colluded with a country that is not considered friendly to us and even an enemy. Russia colluded with the Russians to change the outcome of the 2016 election. I don't know if that's ever happened. I don't know of anything in history that comes close to that kind of political dirty trick. And then, for the next 3 years, convinced Americans that he was guilty of doing something. That he was guilty, in essence, of treason, when they were the ones that actually concocted the entire thing.
Yeah.
And Kurt recognizes that and talks about it in the article. I just want to give you background before I go into this, because it's pretty blunt.
Yeah. Right.
And with all the other problems, he goes, but Trump presents problems and we need to face them. Before we go further, we need to be clear, because some folks are a bit sensitive when the subject of the ex-president comes up. Get over it. He works for us. We owe Trump nothing. He's a politician. He owes us. I don't care if he resents his unfair 2020 defeat any more than I care when a teenager whines that something is unfair. Life is unfair. No one was more maligned than Donald J. Trump. I wrote a book defending him against the barrage of lies he endured. But I expect politicians to get it done every time and every day with no excuses. And the operative question is always, what have you done for me lately? If a politician wants a friend, go buy a dog. If he demands a pass when he starts to fail to cut it, here's a gold watch and a handshake. Enjoy your retirement. Trump was a great president in many ways. The economy boomed. We were energy independent. We were at peace. He got the Middle East to make peace. And the Supreme Court, no establishment guy would have stuck with Kavanaugh as Trump did. Someday, some historian is going to look back and say, damn, I can't believe how much Trump accomplished in the face of a full-scale assault by the establishment. He saved America, or at least put off our fall a little longer. But let's not minimize his failings in failing to win this last midterm. And they are failures, and they are just more in a long line of them. He postures as the head of the GOP, and congratulations, Don. That means you get the blame when stuff goes sideways, just like you get the credit when you win. In 2018, we lost seats, a lot of them. He gets a big piece of that demerit. In 2020, he lost the election. Yeah, I know about the rigging issues because I lawyered in the aftermath. But the fact is, Krusty O'Senile is in the Oval Office and Trump isn't. So Trump lost. And in 2022, well, we're still mopping up that mess. No, it's not all his fault, but some of the fault was his. He picked some candidates who either lost or ran far behind what they should have gotten. He collected a ton of money and then spent barely any of it. He injected dumb drama into the election by hinting that he would announce the night before, issuing stupid nicknames for Ron DeSantis while many of us were busy trying to win. And he did not slack off even after the disappointing loss. His cringe insecurity about DeSantis, and he should be insecure, is embarrassing. All that stuff hurt us in the midterm. And his rumblings afterward about how great he did with his picks were tone deaf and infuriating. He can be exhausting, I know, because many people tell me they're tired of the Trump drama. He goes, that's a fact, like it or not. And then he goes on to talk about, all the different demographics out there, and what they're saying about, and what they're saying about Trump and, how they've moved. But the one thing that I've noticed more than anything, look, this has been going on since the 2020 election. And we have seen the slow erosion in the polls of his popularity, and that's expected once you're not in office anymore and you can't do it. You can't do anything. Out of sight, out of mind, and then the focus goes on, who the enemy is. But until recently, he was still quite popular in the Republican Party. Yeah. But as Kurt points out, there are a ton of people who held their nose and voted for him, and still would have voted for him because there was no other. And now you're seeing, you've seen in the polls tremendous movement in the last couple of days. Yeah. Whether they're exact on, I can't tell you or not. But the momentum away from Trump is huge. And I do believe that part of it is you can't continue as he postures, as you said, as the head of the party. Right. When you win, you get the credit. When you lose, you don't. Fair or not. I've had a few obviously Trump supporters right to say, but there were 170 other. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter whether. What matters is, can you bring me the swing states?
Yeah. Look, the thing is that it isn't about idolatry, and everything that Kurt Schlichter points out about the accomplishments